Hi guys, 604 StarCraft here. I'm here to cast Game 3 of the Zotac Cup Finals here between WhiteRa and his opponent here, spawning as a Terran player, Strelok. The third match here will be taking place on Metapolis, so we'll see how this game progresses. If you haven't seen the first two games here, definitely do be sure to check my channel. I did cast the other two games as well. And if you have been watching them, as you will know, Strelok here is up 2-0 on WhiteRa. So we'll see if WhiteRa will be able to respond to being behind 2 games. As we've seen from Strelok in the earlier games, he is able to win not only with cheese but also with just kind of standard play with an M&M build. So we'll see how WhiteRa here does respond. I have been surprised that in both games WhiteRa hasn't been able to kind of go for his infamous Stargate kind of build here. He has just been trying to play fairly standard, but each time he's kind of been caught off guard with an early Terran push. So we'll see if he's able to kind of handle it a bit better this time. He does get down his gateway at 11, and he is going to go for the early probe scout. So he's actually lucky enough, and he will be able to scout Strelok with his first attempt there. And Strelok here is going to play fairly standard. He did get his supply depot probably around 10, and now he's working on his barracks. He is going for the early gas as well. And we'll see how this plays out here. WhiteRa, I think he's kind of having a duel there with the SCV, but so WhiteRa here will kind of retreat, just run around to get more scouting information. We'll just take a quick look at the production tab, or keep our eyes on that. WhiteRa does get the early gas as well. I'm assuming he's probably going to play fairly standard into a cybernetics core fairly soon, and be trying to kind of chrono boost the warp gate technology. And on Strelok's end, he is playing, I guess, fairly standard as well. He is going for his orbital command fairly early as well. Kind of just going to look to seek that extra advantages with the mules, and also with the scan later on, which is fairly useful. So Strelok does get the early marine, which will prevent any further scouting from WhiteRa's probe. And Strelok here is opting to kind of steal WhiteRa's gas, or he'll actually try to at this point, and he does succeed in building the refinery only temporarily. I think this SCV better be careful, because it actually might get taken out. And WhiteRa does get an early Zealot to kind of take it out, because I think he is trying to get that. He will be looking to get that gas fairly soon, and he is pumping out a Stalker as well. But at this point, there is 2 additional pylons. I think WhiteRa might be looking to kind of put maybe another building here, or maybe this is kind of prevent drop ships or whatnot. He does actually have pylons in all 4 corners there, so great use of building placement there by WhiteRa in case he does need to. These pylons do provide scouting, or I mean vision there, and he is working on his on his warp gate technology. So WhiteRa here is playing, I think that's fairly standard at this point, no Stargates or anything else. And on the other end, Strelok here does have his Marauder coming, he has a couple Marauders, and he is working on the concussive shells, and he is playing a fairly similar build as what he did last time with the barracks and the reactor. And so he's going to do an early push here with the same build he had last time, which is the 2 Marauders with the concussive cells and the 2 Marines. And you do have the early SCV, probably looking to maybe try, if he can, to put down maybe a bunker or whatnot there. So we'll see how this works here. From what we've seen in previous games, the Marauders were able to take advantage of the Zealots, and were kind of completely able to kind of nullify them in the matchup here. And we see the SCV did get in for an early scout, which is great work there by Strelok. So he was able to kind of scout the gateways that WhiteRa was going for, but he wasn't able to actually scout. I think let me just see here if he was able to actually scout the warp gate technology. Let's just see here. He wasn't able to actually scout there. If we just take a quick look at Strelok, so he wasn't actually able to scout the Stargate. So we'll be able to see some Stargate play, which is kind of I'm not too sure if it was made infamous by WhiteRa, but I have seen him do it in multiple games of his. So we will see an early chrono boosted Void Ray, and we'll see how that takes effect here. Strelok actually has no idea that there is an actual Void Ray on its way, but I think at this point he is able to kind of stop the Void Ray. If you can just take a quick look at the Marine Army here, I would just take a quick look at unit sizes. Strelok does have 10 Marines already, so that should be able to kind of stop or put a hold on WhiteRa's kind of early Void Ray push. I don't think this Void Ray will be able to do much damage at this point, but actually, if the Void Ray is actually able to charge up, he will be able to actually do a lot more damage. So the Void Ray is actually I think it was almost charged up there, but it's actually pushed back here. WhiteRa here is good placement with the pylon here. He will be able to kind of phase in more units, so we're going to see an early push here by WhiteRa. I think he does have 3 gateways, probably going for a fourth gateway soon, and he is using the Void Ray to kind of charge up on the supply depot, and I think he's going to use a kind of a 2-prong attack here. That is what we're seeing here. He is kind of luring away his units, and the Zealots are breaking into the base, but the Void Ray does go down, and Strelok does get his Stimpack upgrades. So at this point, we'll see. We're going to have a battle here, and this battle will kind of determine, I think, if Strelok is able to defend this. And I think at this point, Strelok will be able to defend against the Protoss push here. And he is building kind of a more static defenses with the bunkers. He is going for medevacs, which is great. A great unit composition for him at this point. He does have 1 Viking to kind of counter the Void Ray. So at this point, WhiteRa is just kind of stuck outside his base. I don't think his unit, his army size will be able to kind